So, I guess you guys tapped on the video because is the Fs7 good in 2025? I'm about to break it down for you guys.
If you're trying to find love, no, it's hard to keep. Even when it gets tough and you wanna leave. Take a look into
So, I heard that the Fs7 might be making a comeback in 2025. I don't know, but I've been using it for the past 4 months now, and this is my opinions and thoughts. So, a little bit of context behind this camera. I was always in the market for another cinema camera. I dominantly shoot red, but I needed something with a bit of a quicker workflow or something that I can one man, if that makes sense. And this camera, I can tell you, for using it for 2 projects now and 1 soft project, it's definitely not easier. She is as bulky as it comes, and she is larger and longer than my red currently. I know some reds could get pretty long, but this girl's pretty long. With the changing tides of this industry, the camera prices has gone down, or the camera prices are going to spike up. I think Sony is going to do a camera spike, but for the Red Komodo, I bought my Red Komodo at full price. Now it's like $3 grand, $4 grand. I don't remember how much it is, but it is almost half the price of what I paid for 4 years ago, 3 years ago now, actually, 3 years ago. And it just leads me to think like, hey, you know, I was always in the market for a new camera. I was always in the market to look for a new body. And I had my eyes on a Raptor or a Burano or the FX9, and I just didn't know what I wanted. And seeing the prices hike and come down and go around, I just realized that I just need a buffer camera. My Epic is on its way out. The Komodo, I'm stubborn to use, and that's on me. But yeah, my Epic's on the way out. It's like 4,000 hours now. And I was like, hey, I need another beater camera. Context for this camera. The camera came out in 2014 for $8,000. That's as much as the FX9 is like now, I think. I could be wrong. I'll put the little things right here. But the camera does 4K and 600 megabits and 1080 slow-mo and 180 FPS. It supports the Super 35 CMOS sensor. And its counterpart released a couple of years later, the Fs7 II, released in 2017. I don't know any data about the Fs7 Mark II. I'm sure it's the same camera. The functionality is a little bit different, but I think they just improved a couple of more things on the Mark II. A couple of other details is the internal ND that it comes with. The internal ND is a 4th, a 6, and 64, plus clear. It sits natively on clear, and I love the internal ND. I think that's what really drew me to this camera. Same thing with the FX6 and the FX9. I think it's something that just helps the workflow a lot better. But as you can see, I do host NDs as well for the other cameras. So I think a couple of things I could say about the camera right off the bat that I appreciate and I like a lot is the functionality of it, the bulkiness of it. And on set for the Indian TV show we did, or a short, we're calling it right now, it was very one-manable, and I think that's what they went for the Fs7. Very one-manable, and being able to handle the situations on my own with just this camera. And having, you know, small quality of life things on the camera, including my, you know, my tear deck and tallying into the 2 SDI ports, or, you know, the HDMI port. It really helped the situation, whether they wanted to stand next to the camera with the monitor or whether they wanted to have a handheld. Having those 2 SDI outs is kind of crazy. It's kind of game changing for me, at least, because I've only ever worked with 1 SDI out, and it's great. Another thing that also really sticks out is the user buttons. I only have 2 of them binded, but on mine, I have ISO and I have just a simple, easier menu button to reach that's not like, you know, right here on my cheek or on my face when I operate. So when I DP, it's really, really, really easy to use this camera. Everything is really straightforward. As a normal Sony, at least. In the menus are crazy. There's a lot of scrolling, and there's a lot of just buffers. It's just kind of crazy. But overall, I give the camera a good 7 out of 10, and I'll tell you why it's just a 7 out of 10. My reds, I'd give the Komodo an easy 6 out of 10, and my Epic, I will give you an easy 8 out of 10. And I can tell you why in a different video for the reds, but for this one specifically, there's a couple of things that I wish, and I think the Mark II has it, that would make this camera better, in my opinion. And it could just be me. It could just be, me just being new to the camera. But I feel like if there was a slighter better placement for some of the buttons, or there's a better way to manage your Noga arms, your strong arms, your attachments, without needing a cheese plate that's so proprietary to the camera, I think the camera would be way better. And I don't know if it's better on the Fs7 Mark II, but I can speak for the Mark I. Some of the placements are terrible. There's nowhere to put a cheese plate. There's nowhere to put anything of that. And mounting attachments is kind of hard. You got to find like places on the VCT plate or the top here where the cheese plate is supposed to go, but when you try to put something on the side, it blocks off all your user buttons and it blocks off everything on the right side of the camera. I know that's more of a user preference, and I know that's a me preference more than anything else. I can't speak to anybody else that has the Fs7, but even the proprietary cheese plates from Shape are kind of terrible. Like, it just goes around the top handle, and then they bank on the fact that you use the VCT plate, and it's quick release everything, or quick tighten on at the top. Even when I did have the cheese plate, I returned it because I was like, this is useless. It blocks your top handle. The cheese plate just goes around the top handle, and you just have to tighten it on. And when you go to hand hold it, that's not shoulder mounted, like you go low or you're trying to move the camera around. If you have a big Noga arm, I have tiny ones, I have big ones. It gets in the way, especially when you mount a monitor to the top. So that's why on my camera build, at least, my monitor's on the sides for lefty and righty using. So I use the baby one, unfortunately, for my lefty when I'm right on my right shoulder, and then I use the bigger one when I'm on my left shoulder, and it's just give or take. And I do turn the other monitor, obviously, to see a bigger image quality, and I do like check all the the focus and everything. But in general, I think the Fs7 has terrible mounting points, has terrible ways to do anything, and I thought of a couple of solutions maybe to offset the cheese plate, to maybe have it come out a little bit more, because I still need to use the XLRs on the other side. I still need to try to tally in to SDI on the other side, and I know it comes in at an angle, but some of those BNC cables don't like going in that way. Some of those SDI cables don't like going in that way, so I couldn't tell you, bro. Sometimes I don't think a lot of cameras use XQDs. I think they use the CFast Type Bs or the Type As now, I think. Even CFast Express and just Compact Flash, I guess, is going out of business. But I know a lot of cameras still use CFast and CFast Express, but this baby's using XQD, and CFast Express does not work in this camera. I tried, I caved in, I bought one of those really bad ones off Amazon, and I just really wanted to try it because, I'm eager. I just wanted to shoot with it, and the card didn't work. Straight up. XQD only. And that leads me to my next one. XQD cards, used at least, are a pain in the butt to find. MVP has a ton of them. People in the Facebook Marketplace are upcharging it, and if I'm going to go buy a nude from B&H, Best Buy, or whatever, it's $199. That's the definition of XQD holding their value. I don't know what else is used for. I know some Nikons use it, and I know that I think some Canons might use it. I don't know. All I know is that Nikons use it. But XQD cards, great format in my opinion. Great format. They offload really fast. They hold a lot of data. They hold everything you possibly need. So I think they're great. And especially in this with the dual function of either toggling which card you want to record to or recording in tally, you're fine. It's great. It's just my gripe with XQD cards. I just came back from a trip in California with my girlfriend, and went to every single camera store asking for XQD cards, and only one of them had a used one. So a lot of you guys might be like, hey, you should just buy it new because it's memory, it's data, you should keep it safe. And I like taking risks sometimes. The image quality is great. I don't have any issues with it. I mean, okay, what I meant to say is I love the image quality. That's I did mean that, but it does come out a little green. You know, if everybody remembers, if you really like the big Sony greens back in the day, then, you know, this is the camera body to go for. It's a very soft. Sometimes it gets pretty soft from the image quality in, but I could put up some demo footage to show how green it actually is, or what the log files actually spit out. Log files, very easy to work with, especially in DaVinci Resolve. Editing the files, super easy. Just to get back on track with the video, how does it hold up today? And I think I hit most of it. You got the built-in ND, you got long battery, that's opinionated because I got a shark fin on it. You got built-in XLRs, I got SDI, 2 SDIs, 1 HDMI. There's a bunch of buttons, and the side handle is great. And I think I told you guys the cons, the XQD cards, just hard to come by. That's really just it, for the used one at least. I talked about the color and the green, and the native ISO in it is 2000 Cine and Cine EI. It's just ISO 2000. But that doesn't really bother me specifically. It might bother some people out there, but it doesn't really bother me. But to wrap up the video, we're going to talk about and just wrap up the camera as a whole. And obviously I'll be putting in BTS footage and everything, and I'll be putting in just clips of it, just to see what you guys are doing or what I'm doing with it. But to hit on a couple of things, I think field use and practicality, super easy to use, super easy to manipulate and maneuver around, especially if you already know the Sony menus of how complex it can get, and you already know how to maneuver through the Sony things. Yes, it's annoying that there's no touch screen, but the little scrolly wheel thing on the side, if you know how to do that, just like back in the day, just using the buttons and the scroll wheel on the actual A7s, you're set. The camera's great. I think it's a well $800 spent until I could find something else. But for practicality and functionality, it's all there. It's all there. Personally, I wish there was a little something on the handle here so I can actually just manipulate the menu, but that's way beyond me. You know, I just mount it on the tripod, put up all the menu stuff, calibrate it, and then ready to go. I don't really need all I got is a record button on there. There's wide telephoto. We're fine. All fine. Now, for practicality, I was planning on bringing this on a wedding, just to beat it up, just to send it around, and comparing it to the FX30, because I shoot them in tandem a lot, this camera and the FX30, I personally don't notice a difference. The FX30, though, when I dial it in and I actually like zoom in to like try to tell the difference, the FX30 is sharper, way sharper. This camera is sharper. This is the FX30 right now. This camera is a little softer, it's a little toned, but yeah, I think that's the biggest difference between the FX30 and this, and I'm excited on taking it to a wedding. I know it might be a bad idea. I know it might be out of this world to try to do that, but for practicality, I can only speak for sets. For like shorts, films, or anything, I've done one episode, and one short with this, and I can tell you for functionality and practicality on sets, they're great. You have the time to break it down, you have the time to check everything, you have the time to manipulate the menu, you have time to do all that, and it's way, way, way easier than I expected of getting the camera. But I do want to take it on a wedding and see how practical this thing can actually be. To sum up the whole thing, I think I spent $800 pretty well, and you could get yourself one pretty cheap as well if you're looking into buying an FS7. If you're looking into buying one, I would do your research first. I would do a lot more research than I did, or not like just like bring it into the field day one after you get it. But I would do your research. Whether you could get a Mark II, that'd be even better for the same price, for $800. But you know, they go from $600 all the way to like $2,000 right now. And same thing with the FS5. They go from like, you know, $500 all the way to like $2,000 as a full kit. And you know, I think you guys, if you're thinking about this camera, over something else, or if you're thinking about 15 different cameras at the same time and this is your cheapest option at the moment, I would go for this because that allows you to spend more money on lenses, and your lenses are probably going to go with you forever. Your camera body's probably not, unless you drop your lens, and that's on you, but like your lenses are probably going to go forever with you. The camera bodies with me, I change every other year or every year. It's just with the technology. I keep the Reds, I keep my FX30, but I rotate cameras all the time. So I think the FS7 was the perfect move for me, at least. But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, your opinions, comments, concerns. If you have any questions for me, I will try to be as attentive to the comment section as I can. But until then, or until the next time, I'll see you in the next video, y'all. Peace.